Hello and welcome back to this channel Comic Books. Today, we will be doing a recap of a DC Universe visual novel called Kingdom Come. Chapter 1, There were voices, thundering, lightning and an earthquake, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. There fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp, and I beheld, and heard an angel, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. The story begins with Wesley Dodds speaking with his pastor, Norman Mackay, as he is reading from the book of Revelation in the Bible. Dodds has begun seeing visions related to that book and is trying to tell Norman about them. However, he dies before he can explain them. While walking sometime after the funeral, Norman reflects on Dodds' life. Dodds had once been the Sandman. During his later life, Dodds had been worried about the world's current superheroes, who lacked the morals of their predecessors. As Norman reflects on this, a fight between some of the modern heroes fight, and Norman hopes that mankind can outlast these heroes. These thoughts leaked into Norman's next sermon subconsciously. After the sermon, Spectre appeared to Norman. Spectre was supposed to use Dodds for his host as he witnessed the events of the coming Armageddon, but has to use Norman because he is now having the visions. They are first transported to a farm in Kansas, where an aged Superman lives. Wonder Woman comes and tries to convince Superman that he needs to come out of retirement to help the world. Inside the house, they watch footage of a battle between a team of new heroes led by Magog battling Parasite. Parasite pulled apart Captain Atom, causing a nuclear explosion that completely destroyed Kansas. The Spectre then shows Norman that some of the old heroes still remain. The Flash still patrols Keystone City. Hawkman protects the forests of the Pacific Northwest. And the Green Lantern watches Earth from an Emerald City in orbit. Others, such as the Atlanteans, the Amazons, and the Legion of Superheroes have all followed Superman's lead of living in solitude and wanting no more involvement with mankind, thus cutting all ties from them, becoming complacent and content in their ancient civilizations or future times, and leaving the world to its own fate. When asked about Batman, the Spectre shows that he's now using robots to patrol Gotham City. The Spectre takes them to Metropolis, where they see some of the modern heroes having a shootout on a suspension bridge and a tram full of innocents. The tram's cable was cut, but Superman was able to save it in time. Everyone was thrilled to see Superman save the day once more, but Norman was able to see this was just the beginning of the Armageddon. Chapter 2, Norman Mackay is now seeing a vision of 7 angels bathed in the fire of what appears to be the torch of the Statue of Liberty. He and the Spectre are taken to where the vision leads them, to the Statue of Liberty, where the Americommando, a gun-toting fascist, fires upon immigrants approaching Ellis Island with his Minutemen, warning them to leave America or else. He is soon diverted by a trio of robots, red, white, and blue, attacking him, but their personal battle is in the middle of innocents who they care very little for. This battle is interrupted by Superman ... and he isn't alone. He is joined by 7 others from the Justice League who have returned to duty to deal not only with them, but also with 2 psionics called the Brain Trust who are using this personal battle for their own ends. They were both rendered unconscious by the appearance of Red Robin, a former partner of Batman who has also joined Superman's team. After the successful confrontation, Superman and his Justice League allies appear at the United Nations to address the press conference gathered there that they will deal with the rogue superhumans on the loose. However, the Secretary General of the United Nations isn't confident of Superman's means to achieve their goals, and neither is Bruce Wayne, who retired his identity as Batman, but not the desire to continue working as a hero, willing to join Superman's reformed Justice League for that purpose. Nonetheless, Superman and the Justice League press forward with their intended goal, negotiating with superhumans who are willing to join the cause and using force on those who oppose them. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor has assembled a team of retired villains, calling themselves the Mankind Liberation Front, intending to use the battle between Superman's Justice League and the rogue superhumans to their own ends and purposes. Among them, Norman Mackay and the Spectre see an adult Billy Batson as a servant to Lex Luthor, pleasantly giving Lex a shave. At a nightclub where a group of random superhumans cavort, Superman gets their attention to deliver a message that they should willingly join the League or else they will be dealt with. As Nightstar and Avia consider taking up Superman's offer to join him after he leaves, Oliver Queen shows up to offer them an alternative. However, Superman is beginning to see more superhumans choosing to turn against the League rather than join them. So after some failed negotiation talks with Arthur Curry and with Orion, he turns to Mr. Miracle and his wife Big Barda for the answers. Soon they find Magog standing on what's left of the Kansas landscape, futilely trying to rebuild, and Superman confronts him for the disaster he's caused. Magog blames Superman for the disaster, saying it all started when the Joker killed the Daily Planet staff, including Superman's wife Lois Lane. As the Joker was being brought into custody, Magog killed him with a blast from his energy staff. Superman brought Magog into court for his actions, but the judge ruled in favor of Magog, considering his actions justifiable and acquitting him. Rather than accepting Magog's challenge to fight him, Superman simply took off and was never seen until the present time. It is then Magog knew the real reason Superman took off. It wasn't that he feared Magog, but rather he feared that Magog was the kind of hero people wanted and the kind of future he represented. As Superman mockingly says to Magog, "You must be proud," he angrily blasts Superman with his staff before kneeling down in defeat, wanting Superman to kill him or do anything to take away the voices of a million ghosts haunting him. While Superman and the Justice League are busy building a stronghold of justice using plans given to him by Mr. Miracle, Bruce Wayne is seen making an unseemly alliance with Lex Luthor's team of villains. Chapter 3, Norman McKay sees yet another vision, this time of Captain Marvel calling down lightning upon himself. These visions he is seeing are what he believes are dreams of Armageddon. He and the Spectre are now taken to an ominous-looking dome that now stands upon the Kansas wastelands. This dome is Superman's reformation center for superhumans, called the Gulag. Due to its vast size, it was intended to house prisoners for months to come. But within 2 weeks of its construction it filled beyond capacity, though due to its architect and warden it was able to contain its numbers. Kryptonian battlesuit robots stand guard watching over the residents in the Gulag's beautiful environment. Dissenters among them mock at the Superman holograms, trying to educate them of the proper use of their powers and abilities, with Captain Comet dealing with the hard case types like Von Bach. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor uses White's eye to spy on the simmering stew of unrest within the Gulag. Norman McKay and the Spectre also notice the Quintessence looking down upon Billy Batson being with Luthor, with Shazam pleading with his fellows for understanding regarding Batson. As the Spectre engages with the Quintessence in conversation, McKay speaks with Deadman, who at this point is now a spirit in skeletal form wearing rotted circus acrobat clothes. Outside the Green Lantern satellite, which is being used as the Justice League headquarters, Superman and Wonder Woman have a peaceful discussion as they fling rocks around some asteroid, with Wonder Woman telling Superman that she had been ousted from Paradise Island for failing in her mission as the Amazon's ambassador for peace. In the heart of an underground lab, Lex Luthor subjects Billy Batson to torture by making him watch gruesome images of him and his friends being slaughtered by superhumans and causing worms to crawl in and out of Batson's ears, keeping him from saying Shazam's name. Luthor later joins with Bruce Wayne in a special war room where Wayne reveals his team of superhumans who are ready to lend their support to the cause of the Mankind Liberation Front. Secretly, though, Wayne speaks with John Jones, formerly the Martian Manhunter but now crippled in his abilities, in the hopes of finding out what his friend had sensed. As Superman looks down upon the Earth with his telescopic vision checking for superhuman activity, Red Robin speaks with his former Teen Titans members about his growing concerns that Superman's plans would eventually fail. Norman McKay finds himself suddenly pulled from the spirit realm into reality to face a Superman who's wondering why he's here. McKay's only answer comes from scripture, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up, and the sun and the air were darkened. Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. While Superman is confused over the cryptic message, Red Robin notices that a riot has broken out in the Gulag. As McKay vanishes with the Spectre, Wonder Woman sends Flash, Green Lantern, and Power Woman to deal with the situation while she and Superman speak to the Secretary General of the United Nations about their growing concerns of the Gulag. In the main office of the Mankind Liberation Front, Lex Luthor is pleased to report about the riot going on at the Gulag and now is ready to send Billy Batson into action to do his bidding. Bruce Wayne keeps Batson from calling upon Shazam, telling him he now knows what Luthor has done to him and his mind. With Luthor now feeling betrayed, Wayne tells his assembled team of superhumans to strike, instantly stopping most of Luthor's team, while Luthor attempts to escape, only to be confronted by an army of activated Bat Knights. Wayne now tries to reason with Batson as he himself flees, only to accidentally cause a flask of worms to break and cover him with worms. Scared at the sight, Batson calls upon Shazam and soon vanishes. At the Green Lantern satellite, Wonder Woman dresses herself in Golden Eagle armor and girds her magical sword to her waist as Superman tries to reason with her on how to deal with the rioters. Then suddenly news comes from Green Lantern. The prisoners are now starting to breach the walls, and they have killed Captain Comet. Angered at the loss, Wonder Woman leads a team to go to the Gulag and force the prisoners to surrender or else. Seeing that she cannot get Superman to see that her way of dealing with the superhumans may be the right way, Wonder Woman gives him a farewell kiss before she departs. At that, Superman races to Bruce Wayne's Batcave in a last-ditch effort to have his friend and former ally join him in his cause. All Wayne can tell Superman is that Captain Marvel has been brainwashed and is now heading for the Gulag to burst it wide open. Superman races as fast as possible to reach the Gulag before Captain Marvel gets there, but it is too late. Lightning strikes the dome, allowing its residents to spill out to engage the Justice League team in an all-out battle. Superman himself is knocked out of the sky as Captain Marvel now engages him in a one-on-one confrontation. Norman McKay sees that Armageddon has arrived. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.